The alarm didn't scream. It whispered. A soft three-tone pulse under Nora's boots, an authorized life sign in a sealed zone. Across the nursery glass, 6 tiger cubs slept under heat lamps, striped commas in warm light. Their breaths matched the station hum. The pulse came again. Nora muted the public feed on her wrist cuff and kept her face calm for the cameras anyway. Station Kestrel watched everything. Bay 7 blinked on her panel. Bay 7 was supposed to be dead, vacuumed, locked, logged after the last accident. And yet a life sign moved inside it. Small. Fast. Cub fast. Nora grabbed her emergency kit and walked, not ran, down the unused spoke. Running made alarms notice you. So did fear. The lock glowed red. Sealed. Do not access. Her palm hit the sensor. Override. Nursery authority. Nora Hale. The iris sighed open. Warm air rolled out. Warm air, from an empty bay. Inside the dome, grid lines glowed faintly. Ozone and fur hung in the air. Something padded in the dark. Nora snapped on her kit light. Amber eyes flashed behind stacked foam barriers. Nox. Her voice broke on the name. Nox was the smallest cub, torn ear tip, sharp mind. The one who watched humans like he was taking notes. A soft chuff answered her. Not fear. Invitation. Nora moved slow. You're not supposed to be here. A mechanical click cut through the quiet. Her light swung to the center. A human training rig stood upright, powered, status bars pulsing green. It shouldn't have power. In front of it, Nox ran the grid with precision no animal should have. He ducked a red beam. Rolled through a gap. Popped up on hind legs, front paws lifted in a human guard stance. Then he pressed a control stud. The rig clicked. A new obstacle rose. Nox adjusted instantly and sprinted the pattern like he'd run it 100 times. Nora's throat tightened. Stop. Come here. Nox froze, chest heaving. He stared at her as if deciding whether she deserved the truth. Then he walked up, calm, careful, and pressed one paw, gently, against her collarbone, right over her heart. Not a scratch. A signal. A recording flickered above the rig. Grainy corridor feed. A security badge flash. A door open. A human hand shoved a striped body through. The door shut. Badge. Commander Varin. Nora went cold. Varin ran station security. He also ran integration, the polite word for turning rescued cubs into assets. He put you in here, Nora whispered. Nox's ears tilted. No denial. Nora swallowed. Why are you training? Nox's gaze slid toward the nursery wing, as if he could hear the others breathing. He made a thin, broken whine. And Nora remembered the strap-shaped bruise she'd found on Syra 2 nights ago. Handling practice, Med had said, smiling too quickly. They are hurting you, Nora said. Nox's tail flicked once. Yes. On the walk back from Bay 7, before she hit broadcast, Nora's mind flashed through small moments she'd dismissed. Syra flinching when a gloved hand reached too fast. Juno's food bowl always scraped clean, yet her ribs showing a little more each day. The way Nox watched doors, not toys. Nora had told herself the station knew what it was doing. Now she could hear her own lie echoing in every corridor. She crouched beside Nox again. Did he make you train alone? Nox's ears dipped. He made a sound that was almost a cough, then glanced at the ceiling MIC. He lowered his head and walked a tight circle, small steps, restrained, like he'd been taught that movement could be punished. Nora's jaw tightened. Okay. I see. She kept her voice gentle. You don't have to prove anything to me. You're already enough. Nox blinked once, slow, uncertain, like the words didn't fit any pattern he'd been forced to learn. He nudged her sleeve. Not comfort. Request. Do something. Nora swallowed and stood. I will. The dome speakers crackled. Nora Hale, Varin said, calm and amused. Step away from the subject. Nora kept her body between Nox and the rig. Why is Bay 7 powered? Because I ordered it, Varin replied. And because you were never meant to find it. He's a child. He's a predator, Varin said, voice sharpening. We have raiders inbound. Slavers. Collectors. We cannot outgun them. These cubs can become deterrents. Nora tasted metal. You're turning them into weapons. Into shields, Varin corrected. The council agreed. The nursery is a liability unless it becomes profitable. A door mechanism clanked outside. The bay began to unseal. Nora pulled a slim injector from her kit. Signal spike. Illegal. Effective. She tapped the lock panel. The iris slammed shut with a hard clap. Sealed. Varin's voice tightened. What did you do? I locked us in, Nora said. Now you talk, or you break the seal on record. She knelt by Nox, palms open. Show me what you've been learning. I need proof. Nox padded back to the grid. The rig projected corridors, choke points, blind corners, then overlaid the nursery wing in red paths. Nora's stomach lurched. It's mapping our home. Varin said softly, almost proud. Purpose. Nora's hands shook. Fear. She turned to the emergency comm panel. Shock, mystery, emotional threat, enough to wake a whole station. Nora hit broadcast. Her voice filled Kestrel. This is Nora Hale, nursery lead. Bay 7 was sealed. It is powered. A training rig is conditioning Cub Nox and mapping the nursery without oversight. I request counsel and medical in person. If you force this door, you do it on record. The station woke in a single held breath. Outside, boots multiplied. Not just security. Med, engineering. Civilians who hated secrets. Council is moving, an aide crackled. Engineering confirms an authorized splice, another voice said. Nora opened a narrow medical slot, nothing more. A scanner slid in. A medic's voice, gentle. Hey, little one. We're not here to hurt you. Nox sat and let the scanner pass. Bruising, the medic reported, stunned. Strap pattern. Stress spike. Counselor Wren's voice turned to steel. Commander Varin. Explain. Necessary acclimation, Varin said. Unnecessary cruelty, Wren snapped. Stand down. The iris opened fully. Wren stepped in with aides and medics. Varin entered last, immaculate, flanked by officers. He looked at Nox. Heal. Nox didn't move. Nora lifted her hand to him, calm. Look at me. Breathe. Nox's chest rose. Fell. The room felt air return. He chose, Wren said, quiet. Nora nodded. If it was compliance, he would obey Varin. Varin's mask slipped. We received an encrypted radar window. 72 hours. Information control prevents panic. Wren's gaze sharpened. You withheld that from the council. Nora stepped forward. He kept it secret so nobody could say no. He planned to use cubs as shields. Silence. Heavy. Then Wren said, You're relieved of command. Varin's eyes went flat. Then you can all die without my solution. Nora's voice didn't waver. We won't. Engineering spoke fast. We can reroute corridor locks, build partitions, deploy non-lethal nets. Medical added, we stabilize civilians, prevent panic. Nora looked at the cubs in her mind. Small bodies, big trust. The cubs stay with me. No straps. If they help, it's because they choose to. Wren looked at Nox. Can you guarantee safety? No, Nora said. But cruelty will fail. Trust might not. Nox walked to a foam barrier and nudged it into place, aligning it with the glowing grid, then sat, waiting. Collaboration. Later, in the nursery, Nora did something she'd never dared. She turned off the overhead cameras. Just for 2 minutes. The indicator lights went dark. The station would log it. Someone would ask. She didn't care. She knelt among the sleeping cubs and whispered, "I saw the bruises. I didn't stop it fast enough." Syra's eyes opened, sleepy and trusting. She pressed her forehead into Nora's cheek. The trust hurt more than any accusation. Nora closed her eyes. "Tomorrow, nobody touches you without permission. Not even me." A soft chorus of purrs answered her like agreement. She stood and looked through the glass at the corridor beyond, where people hurried with tools and fear. Then her comm pinged once, an encrypted update from engineering. Raider vector confirmed. ETA, 6 hours. Nora's stomach dropped. Because now it wasn't theory. It was countdown. The next 2 days turned Kestrel into a hive. Reinforced partitions. Blinding lights. Hidden stun nets. Safe pockets for civilians. A corridor maze that forced intruders into single file. Nora stayed with the cubs, always. She spoke softly at night. "If you're scared, you come to me. No chasing. No proving." Nox pressed his paw to her heart again, gentle as a vow. "If you're still with me, hit like, subscribe for more HFY, and tell me your favorite moment in the comments, because what happens next is the part people won't forget." The raiders came at 3:14. They cut the hatch. Alarms finally screamed. Gravity shuddered as sections sealed. Armored figures poured into the access spoke. They saw the maze. Then they saw the tiger cubs behind a single human woman who didn't flinch. The leader laughed. "Move aside. We want the merchandise." "They're not merchandise," Nora said. "Leave. Now." He advanced. Nora signaled. Lights blasted white. A stun net snapped out and dropped 2 raiders hard. Another net fired. Partitions funneled the rest into a choke point. The leader fired blind. A bolt scorched the wall inches from Nora's head. The cubs tensed. "Nox," Nora whispered. "Stay." Nox stayed. Humanity dominance wasn't loud. It was discipline. The leader broke through the last partition into the safe pocket. And met Nox. Not teeth. A block. Nox slammed his shoulder into the leader's knee with trained momentum. The weapon dipped. Nora twisted the barrel and ripped it free, pain flaring in her wrists. The cubs moved, forming a ring around the leader, still, silent, trapping him without touching. Security flooded in behind, deploying foam rounds and restraints. No lethal shots. No blood. The leader froze, ragged breathing behind his mask. "What is this?" Nora leaned in. "A choice. You leave alive. Because we are not you." Minutes later, the raiders were bound and the breach sealed. Commander Varin was escorted out, badge stripped, eyes on the floor. No one cheered. Relief didn't need applause. In the quiet after, Counselor Wren found Nora in the nursery doorway. Wren looked older than yesterday. "I was wrong to let secrecy grow roots," Wren said. "I'm sorry." Nora's throat tightened. "Fix it," she managed. Wren nodded once. "Varin will face tribunal. And the integration program ends today. If the cubs ever train again, it's on your terms." Nox watched Wren without blinking. Wren lowered to one knee, slow, hands visible the way Nora did. "Thank you," Wren said, voice rough. Nox didn't approach. But he didn't retreat either. For a station built of metal and rules, that was a miracle. Dawn mode warmed the nursery glass. The cubs piled onto Nora like gravity doubled. Paws, purrs, soft headbutts. She sank to the deck, laughing through tears. Nox climbed onto her chest and settled there, heavy and real. His paw pressed over her heart again. This time it wasn't a warning. It was belonging. Nora stroked his torn ear. "No more secrets. No more pain. If we train together. With consent." Nox blinked slowly and tucked his face under her chin. Outside, a maintenance drone drifted past with a fresh sign taped to its chassis. "Nursery wing. Protected community zone. Consent required." Nora stared until her vision blurred, then kissed the top of Nox's head. Out in the dark, humanity was small. but it could be brave in quiet ways. A hand held out instead of a strap pulled tight. A station choosing children over fear. And a tiger cub who trained in secret, not to hurt the world, but to make sure his family got to see another sunrise. If you're enjoying Survival Arena HFY, hit like thumbs up sign, subscribe bell, and tell me your favorite moment in the comments. Was it when Nox placed his paw over Nora's heart, or when the integration program ended and the cubs finally felt safe?